Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Happy Friday, happy end of the week, but I have to say we're seeing some pretty negative price action out there today. For those of you looking at puts in the short term, I guess it's fantastic for you to see it open up this way, but wow, the market is really starting to fall down this morning. We broke through key 676 support with the SPY. Yes, 676 has given out. This is a huge zone on the SPY. It has seen multiple bounces lately. Every time that we've fallen under there, the SPY has at least reached 671, if not even closer to 670, 669. So this is a pivotal point here for the overall market. Coming into the end of this week, we can see that the overall market's been trending down. You can see the overall trend here up at the top. It is tested multiple times. You can also see the trend at the bottom, testing multiple times. I'm going to go ahead and do a big channel. This will kind of show you what it is. It's a big downwards channel like that. SPY is now pushing the lower end of said channel. If these recent lows start to give out, it's going to get nasty out there. Don't be surprised to see some selling. This is a pretty negative open today, especially considering yesterday's PA. Let's see if this selling starts to really pick up here. It might be Black Friday. Except not in the way of discounts. Oil's near plus 12%. CL. Crude oil futures up to 88 a barrel now. No kidding. Really popping it off. I didn't even realize oil was up that much this morning. I knew it was rising. I just didn't realize that the green candle on the daily was looking that good. Some of these oil companies, though, are looking great. I like the way that ZOM's been moving lower. It's starting to bounce off of the trend. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I believe ZOM's been pulling back the past few trading days, starting to bounce off support for a better move back up. This is actually a pretty good bullish setup here. Hopefully it can move up as oil prices start to skyrocket. You would think it would help. It's just them, like being ExxonMobil and then also the other oil stocks, they all are kind of overextended right now. So there's always the possibility that they really keep ripping, but this is quite the move here. I do think that they could get some more gains, though, given the climate with oil right now. That's what I think is going to really inject some fun here. How's gold and silver? Okay, not really doing too much today. Gold is very flat. Very, very flat. 465. 464 support here from this week holding up. Very flat today. Not really doing much at all. Silver, same thing. So we'll stick to SPY then, which continues to chop around here from the opening candles. Pointing a bit lower, though. Testing the pre-market low right now, close to 672. Watch for it to give out, and then for 670 to come into play. The red seems like it's really hitting here. UVIX has been popping off. It's up 16% in pre-market today with SPY's dip to the downside. That is a massive pop for UVIX. If we look at our watch list, we have a lot of stocks green, actually. SWBI, 13% on earnings. Forgot about them. I think they're ripping past a big resistance. Yeah, they are. They actually just filled the gap on the daily chart all the way up to 1350. Let's go, SWBI. Not bad. Not bad at all. Probably wouldn't be too bad of an idea to look to book some profit here as the gap filled, but yeah, Joe Papa, smash the like. Appreciate it. What's up, Toro? All right. So this morning, about an hour and 5 minutes ago, we had jobs data release. And if we look at the SPY this morning on like a 1 minute chart, if you could pick one spot today that, you know, really impacted the market here, it's literally right where that jobs data released. The SPY was moving down all of pre-market anyways, but whenever that jobs data released, it really solidified that downside move, and 676 has broken. That was a big deal. Ooh, SPY's getting all the way down towards 670, which is low of this week, closer to 669.50, I believe, right around there. But yeah, moving lower. It broke through 676 as that report released. Now, the jobs data was pretty rough. It came in and showed a lot of weakness in the jobs market. U.S. payrolls unexpectedly fell by 92,000 in February. 92,000. The estimate was 50,000. It's the third time in 5 months that the economy has lost jobs. Healthcare was the primary growth driver in payrolls. They saw a loss of 28,000 due largely to a strike at Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanent. Kind of a strange spelling there. That sidelined more than 30,000 workers. Wow. In Hawaii and California. Hawaii and California. Wow, a 30,000 worker strike. I didn't even hear about that. I guess it's not that crazy. I don't know. There's been a lot of other news hitting lately too, so a lot of distraction out there. Wages rose more than expected. Average hourly earnings increased 0.4% for the month and 3.8% from a year ago. And then we can't forget Trump's kind of spiking oil. Trump said that there won't be a deal to end the U.S.-Iran war without an unconditional surrender from Iran. Doesn't sound like that's going to go well then, in that case. TGIF. Oh, yeah, TGI Fridays. Yeah. I used to eat there. The one by me went out of business. I don't know if they all did or not, but that one did. Oh, gosh. Tesla is selling under $400 here today. In pre-market, they dropped under it, and now they are doing pretty, well, looking good to the downside is what I'll say. I was going to say they're doing pretty well, but I don't mean that they're moving up. I mean, they're literally moving well, like having some good momentum, good price action to the downside. I like it. SPY just bounced off of 670.50 or so. This is a good range of support for SPY. We might see it attempt to hold. Given the bleeding today, I would... Wow, it's already down 1.4% on the day, so that is a pretty significant drop. One thing that is moving pretty well today is RCAT. Yeah, our RCAT, very nice. 2.55%. How about Fed Watch and the interest rates? Yeah, you know, I guess we could go take a look. I don't think that today's data necessarily is too surprising on that side of things. Oh, you know what? Maybe it is. Looking at the data now on Fed Watch, one thing that I noticed that I just saw today, now they're pricing in a cut in September. So now they're planning on a pause all the way to September. Whenever just a month or so ago, I believe, it might have been slightly longer, the chance for a June cut was being priced in over 50%. Now it's going all the way to September. Now, of course, over the next couple months, things can change, and they might have to talk about that. But now they're pricing in more of a pause here, which is interesting. Very interesting. Now, here's what I really want to see. What are the prediction markets showing on their charts? Okay, now this is something I wanted to look at because it doesn't really show that they're going to be going totally for pause in June. So they're showing on Calci that there's a 56% chance that the Fed pauses in June. 56%. Looking at the other options here, you know, cutting is still on the table. It's just not as close, right? But the one thing I really wanted to look at was on the day, how did this move? It looks like on prediction markets, like as the jobs data released and as we got into where we are now, the odds are kind of falling for pause. So I don't know, interesting stuff to see this morning. It hasn't really like caused a big sway on prediction markets or anything for June or out in the future. What's kind of funny is that the one thing that rose on prediction markets today is cutting greater than 25 basis points, popped up 4%. There's only 142,000 volume on this, but I thought it was interesting how cut 25 BPS was one of the only things that popped. Oh man. SPY is really straddling the 670 zone. Still showing a lot of weakness today. Sean said, what do you think Powell does in retirement? Rotary Club treasurer? In retirement. Let's see. You know, it'd be really funny if Powell... That's a good point, Sean. Powell's almost out. How many Fed decisions do we even have left? 2 of them with Powell. Oh, we only get to hear the hero song 2 more times. Alex said AVGO. Avgo up 0.5%, up to 335. There we go. AVGO looking solid today. That's a nice pop back considering how the overall market's moving today. Yeah, they need that song now. It does need a hero, no kidding. It needs a savior. Somebody with a shiny cape. Our new country club board member. Formerly a hero. From saving interest rates to setting up four-mans. Kevin Hassett, which is the White House economic advisor, on the jobs data said, on net, it's almost a wash. Okay. Trump keeps talking about Cuba, saying that they're going to fall soon and stuff. That's another big, like, rhetoric that we've seen here. Starting to come into play the past couple days. Advanced money destroyer. Whoa, had a nice big downside move there this morning, but they bounced off support here at 195. If they give out here over the next few hours or so, that could be an interesting play down, but for now, it's actually really surprising me. Same with NVIDIA. Very good bounce backs by these semiconductors this morning. Let's look at Tesla, Google. Let's look at the Mag 7 because SPY is holding lower. Yeah, there's actually has been a couple recovery efforts here on the Mags. Wow, what a wild end to this week. I wouldn't have liked it any other way, though. Like to see the PA. SPY just touched 670. Just touched it. That's going to be a decent area of support, probably. Especially with a lot of these Mag 7s attempting to pop back. But watch 670. Now, whenever we see days like this, the SPY can bleed off pretty bad, so just keep that in mind. This could be a bit worse of a day than we think. Tesla falling down. Yeah, it's weird though. The chip stocks are really pumping back. Like NVIDIA, AMD, they've been on fire. Even Google. Not that Google's a chip stock, but oil stocks are looking nice, Demir said. Yeah, ZOM was one of my favorites here today. Unfortunately, that one's not. USO, though, is looking great. From open, I guess it popped a little bit, but it has some work to do still from open. I love to see it up 10% plus, though. OILU is a 3x leveraged oil and gas exploration ETF. It's down 0.62%. It's not what I want to see, but at least the stuff that follows oil more directly is up. Because crude is the real thing moving here. Even from open, crude is ripping 9.88%. On that daily, crude is really getting up there now. Demir's thinking of getting some shares. I would keep it shorter term at this point, given how much it's popped up. Just had another incredible open, Elite said. 3 days in a row. It's crazy. Yeah, this price action's getting crazy. It's making for some good opportunities, Elite. That's badass. I love to hear that for you. Great start to the day. Good end to the week. That's what we want to hear, Elite. Oh, the crowd goes crazy. Tesla starting to find a bit of a base here, slightly intraday. SPY is holding 670 for now. You might see a bit of consolidation attempt to come into play. That was a pretty big drop off. It kind of mimicked the drop off from intraday yesterday, but it happened mostly in pre-market today and a little bit after open. But like if we measure that drawdown there and that overall downside move, it's very close. Very, very close. Doesn't mean it can't keep selling, but we are finding a little bit of support at least. TSLA. NVIDIA. Is NVIDIA going to start turning back over at resistance? It doesn't seem like it with the way it's moving this morning. Let's draw out this trend line on NVIDIA because it's looking pretty consistent off this. AMD, I believe, had a very similar trend. Yes, it did. Very similar. It's like a massive wedge on AMD, actually. Lining up very well. But AMD does seem more bullish today than bearish, and with that good upside move and then this little consolidation, it's almost like an intraday flag as well. You know, it's moving up. We're getting the... It's moving... Sorry, I misclicked. We're moving up. It's getting the consolidation. And then it starts ripping. Kind of looking to set up that way right now. We'll see if it can break out or not. The chip stocks are really surprising me. I gotta go scan the news. RCAT. Hey, RCAT. 12% now on the day. Let's go. Wow, that is a massive run for RCAT. What was the other drone company? ONDS, right? That is a huge move. ONDS is kind of stuck on the daily, but it's up 3.7%. RCAT, though, is the fun player out there. RCAT. Pushing towards resistance. Probably going to break out given all this war action hitting here. Tessie pulling back a bit. Consolidating at the lower end of its zone today, riding the base. Not the best price action out here. I do have to leave you guys at 11 a.m. Eastern time today. Just wanted to throw it out there. Have a lot hitting. AV is another one. Okay, let's see. Ooh, AV. It's actually a little red on the day, but it has popped from open, which is good. Wow, AV's been kind of underperforming the others. They did have some nice action into this point of the year. I'm very surprised to see them down so much. What made them fall so much on this Monday? That's so weird because like a lot of these other stocks this Monday didn't really collapse off like that. What the heck? Is it because they're from Israel or something? Or I think one of these is an Israeli company. I can't quite remember though. Maybe not this one. Oh, it's super inflated. Yeah, I see. Let's zoom out a little bit on AV's chart. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, it's done very well. Past, 10 years or so. Even beyond that. Oh, Ondas is. Okay, ONDS. That's the one. I knew one of them was, guy. DIS hitting long time lows. Oh, nice. There we go, Disney. Yes. For those of you going, why the hell is Tom cheering for this? Because I want to pick up Disney way the hell down here. That's why. I hope that Disney fills the gap to at least 93. If not even lower, I'll take it as low as it wants to go. I'll average in. I am looking at them, though, for the longer term still here. You know what I think is going to really help Disney, guys? And, this is it's a shot in the dark. There's going to be a Bluey movie that releases in 2027, and I'm really looking for some hype coming into that movie. It says August 6th, 2027. Now, that's a long way away. I don't know why they would announce a movie date like that far out. I don't think I've really seen that before too often, but I am looking for that to uplift them a little bit. Now, that's a long way away. I didn't realize it was that far out, but as they fall in 2026, I will be looking for some dip buys for sure. Probably more around like June, July, somewhere like that time frame. Unless we just get a massive collapse here and then they test the low right away. But it will be one. Ha! Jake said, you have a kid? How could I guess? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big though. Like Bluey, I see it everywhere now. Spy's going for 669.70. It just bounced off of it. That's for sure. Man. For those of you that don't know, 669.70 is like the low from Tuesday. That's why that they're looking at that level so much. That was almost like a perfect bounce. And this is also, I believe, the lower end of the wedge, too. Or the lower end of this massive channel. Let me go onto my other setup here just to show you the channel a bit better. Because it looks a lot cleaner whenever you look at it this way. Wow, this is actually a huge spot for SPY. Yeah, this is a massive level on SPY right now. This is massive. I can't believe this with the SPY lately. But it's holding its ground well off 670 right now. This is huge. I can't believe how much it's holding support. Let's go back to that daily. I'm going to switch to my other setup. Go back to the one with all of our levels on it. There we go. Tesla's bouncing back. I still have more of an overall bearish lean, but right now, I mean, it's hard not to trust this support, right? There's been a lot of bleeding today, and that is a big worry for me personally. I am definitely worried about it bleeding off a lot more. But right now, it seems to be really bouncing off this level, and it's been holding here a lot, and every time SPY bounces off these supports lately, it's done fairly well. I'm not saying it's going to make a massive comeback here, but what I could see playing out pretty interestingly today would be if the SPY tried to retest 676 and then re-died off. That would be that would be like a grade A, like prime setup, right? If we were able to get that rejection and really identify a good confirmation there for a downside move, snipe it kind of, man, that could really work out well here into this morning or maybe the afternoon. But you'll have to be a bit patient with it in my eyes here. And I would be patient. Personally, I don't like playing the SPY in this zone. I think it's very choppy. I think it's unpredictable. I think it could go all types of different ways. But now if we start to flush underneath support, that's where I think things could get really fun today. And the sell-off could accelerate. We could start getting towards that, like, 2.5%, 3% down day on SPY, which would get pretty nasty. But for now, it's holding. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people looking to buy it, maybe somewhere around this middle, maybe lower point of the range for a retest of 676. And maybe that, that could be a way to go. It's not necessarily my favorite here, but I could see people going for that given the support bounce. I would say immediate short term, more bullish until support proves it's going to break on us. Gold and silver's moving, Ramirez says. GLD, SLV. There we go. There we go. Gold and silver, finally. They've been kind of falling down with the market here. Yesterday, they fell down with the market, and it looked a bit brutal, but yeah, today, holding up very well. 2.75%. I like to see it. RCAT rocket mode, Ramirez said. Still moving. RCAT. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Holy. RCAT 1859. I think they're up to new all-time highs. They are. RCAT new all-time highs. Really, that rip got that crazy today. The last time we checked in on RCAT, it was up like 12%. Now it's up 22%. Holy guacamole here, guys. This is insane. And yes, I said guacamole because it's green. if you didn't catch that. These 3 legs here up today on RCAT are mind-blowing. Wow. RCAT is crushing it. That is wild. Ondus is also moving. AV, a lot slower, but moving too. Nothing like RCAT, though. What a wild rip. I do have to say, while I love RCAT and while it's moving higher, I think we have to be a little bit wary in the immediate short term here. I think it's getting slightly overextended, but it's hard to call the top on a stock like RCAT. You know, it can have some pretty wild price action, wild days. It's been known to be something that can trend in some insane ways. Man, that was a tough call on RCAT here. You know, buying up the dip recently. It was still pretty high in the grand scheme of things, but this conflict has really ramped this up. Lockheed trying to come back off the dip. I talked about this one on last night's video as being a pretty good buy the dip opportunity. You sold your RCAT at $15.49 on open. Oh, no. That's okay. You probably did pretty well on it either way. Right? Ryan posted up Planet. PLNT. No, I'm kidding. I think it's PLNH, right? Planet 13. Now, what is Planet's ticker now? That one interested me. QBTS all-time highs. Quantum, 1.43%. Are you sure this is an all-time high? Jake, you liar. I was gonna say, come on now. I was gonna say, in my recent memory, if this thing's at all-time highs, I don't know what to say. I'll tell you what, though, QBTS is holding its ground really well here. Bouncing off of 1730. We might get some big news on Lockheed Martin and Raytheon from the White House meeting today. Oh, we could, Zoidberg. Yes, we could. Zoidberg, I like your name. Dr. Zoidberg. I have some sound buttons here for Zoidberg, but I think I'm going to refrain because it's probably going to blow our eardrums out. He said all-time high for today. Dang, 5-minute candles. Yeah, it's definitely breaking out well here for sure. 1% only on the day, but I have to say the rip back and recovery looks pretty strong. Good 5-minute candles. Our cat's consolidating a little bit. Lockheed Mountain. We're going to call it that forever now, Sean. I know you'll never live that one down. Oh, no. What did I get myself into with Lockheed Mountain? I do too, actually. It sounds pretty good. The higher it goes, the larger the mountain. It's up there with Donkey Horse. Yep. Donkey Horse was legendary. Look, how are they doing? Are they gone? Oh my god, they're still here. They're still around? They had earnings today. Or they do at some point. Oh my. They reverse split again in December? What was that one? 1 for 12? Yeah, they're gone in our minds, but oh my gosh. I can't believe how bad they've gotten, Sean. I'm surprised to even see him still on the market, if I'm being honest. Especially on the NASDAQ. I guess those reverse splits are keeping them alive for now. How's Palantir today? Nice, coming back pretty well. Palantir's kind of popping up. They're not a drone company, but they do well. They do pretty well with some of this conflict news. You know, Palantir had actually been in a pretty good dip here recently. They'd been falling down a lot, testing like 125 support, and this conflict reigniting here really helped Palantir's price action moved back to the upside in a pretty solid way. Yeah, I've heard of Unusual Machines, Merc. UMAC, yeah. Nice one today, too. 10%. Is that one not on? I thought I just added that to my watch list. Oh, I did. Okay. I was going to say, I put that on here recently, I thought. Yep, there it is. Right up there. 10%. With Ondis and RCAT. Unusual Machines. They've been trending pretty well. Holding right around their highs here. I wouldn't be too surprised if they tried to break through this resistance right around 1745. Get closer towards 20 over the next couple of weeks, couple of days. Every one of you under 30 should have shares of UMAC and RCAT for the long haul. I like these drones. I have to say, like, Unusual Machines' drones look really cool. They look a lot cooler than what RCATs look like to me. But RCATs might have like some outside plating or something like that. Some of these Unusual Machines ones look pretty awesome with like the exposed carbon fiber and stuff, but I'm sure that they have other ones. Yeah, I'm seeing that they have other ones too. Here's one. Here's one of their drones if you guys wanted to see what it looks like. Here you go. That's one of them. And now I'm going to show you what like a red cat drone looks like. Now keep in mind, each company has like different variations, okay? But I think you'll get the point. Here's Red Cat. Their little family of drones. Whenever I was looking at Unusual Machines, I was surprised I didn't see like more than one, for example. I'm not seeing like many pictures really showing Unusual Machines. With one of their posts, I saw this. From July 2025, they had an interesting picture in here. But they didn't say if this picture was actually from Unusual Machines or not, but it looks nice. Yeah, though, UMAC is another one that, yeah, definitely up there. Better than Ondis, I think, right? Yep. On the day, anyways, 11%. Not as consistent PA, but yeah. I think UMAC has one of Trump's sons heavily invested. Ooh, now that's a big piece of info, Merc. Let me see if I can find a confirmation on that. Let's see. XTND? Yeah. Donald Trump Jr. is the third largest shareholder and strategic advisor to Unusual Machines UMAC. Wow, that is huge. That's pretty big. Aero drones, battery components, having a day. Yeah, it really is. Love it today with these stocks on fire. SPY's really holding that lower support zone. There we go. For those of you that were, bullish off of this lower range, trusting the support, kudos to you. Like I said, I don't really like trading it down here. I think it's very choppy. But for those of you that bought and the support held, kudos to you today. Now, watch out for 676 resistance. This is going to be a big level for the SPY. It has been critical the past few weeks. It's going to be a huge test as the SPY tries to recover up here this morning. Dennis, it really depends. I mean, if you're really in for the long haul, I think that just weathering the storm is fine if you have time. We could see an extended pullback for a few months, potentially. We've already been pulling back for a couple months to a few months. But, whenever we think about it here, the SPY generally has came back pretty well. I don't think that Trump's going to necessarily cause like a market crash. It's going to cause us to really fret or anything like that. Like, in my personal long-term accounts where, let's say, there's a lot of exposure to tech and S&P 500 and things like that, Dennis, I'm not out here selling everything and freaking out and, trying to allocate it somewhere else. Now, there could always be something said there. Like, let's say that you're very positive the past, let's say, 4 to 5 years, right? You're doing very, very well. If you wanted to lock some in here, you could always do that and then throw your money somewhere that, let's say, makes more passive income. Let's say you're just, you start to look at treasuries, right? I mean, that's a way a route you could take. Starting to look at treasuries. You could even go with just parking money in SGOV for a while. If you're thinking that the market's going to have more of a larger collapse or crash, you could, park some cash in SGOV, maybe wait for the crash and then start to, buy back in again. But a lot of times people do that and then they end up getting pissed off because let's say it might not crash as much as they think. It comes back and then they're they're out of their positions and then they like are not making money for the longer term, right? They like to say time in the market is better than time ing the market. And I really like to stick to that personally. One big thing I would really recommend, Dennis, that, you know, us options traders like to really take advantage of is if you're holding a lot of shares, like let's say S&P 500 companies itself, like SPY, you could actually go ahead and start to sell call options against those shares. And I think that right now would be a really smart thing to do. Like, let's say, you know, you look at next week, you start getting some passive income on your shares as they drop. Like you sell some covered calls on SPY at 688, maybe 680, right? Considering where it is now. I would really look at that overall channel, but that would really help you with some passive income in the short term with those shares if you wanted to hold and take advantage of downwards movement. The only slight problem is if you do see some, let's say we do see the market recover up a lot, you might be forced to sell some of your shares, but you're still going to collect all that premium anyways. And like, let's say that you are forced to sell your shares, you could just buy them right back, like the very next day, or like for the same price essentially, unless there's like some crazy thing that happens, which happens sometimes where you might miss it. But, you know, as soon as you get to that point where it's like, okay, it's expiring, you're forced to sell your shares at, let's say 682 and SPY's at 684, you could sell them all at 682, rebuy at 684, and you're all good. That could be negative depending on how it goes, but it's not the worst because you're getting that premium still. And that's the one thing people don't understand with that. You're going to be collecting that premium from the covered call. Yeah, and right now volatility is starting to pop off, Ryan, and with it popping off, that's helping, right? It's causing a lot of volatility out there, and it's making it a good point to start to run that wheel. Tonight, Team USA plays Team Brazil in the World Baseball Classic. That's going to be a good one. Minus 9.5 spread. Crazy. Now that is crazy, Mason. I know that they beat like the Giants in spring training by a lot the other day, but my word. All right, Tesla consolidating here on the morning. Nothing too crazy at the second. Nice, Palantir. That's what we want to see. UMAC and RCAT slowed down. We have to go find funds somewhere else now, like Lockheed. Happy Friday, Brain. Appreciate you joining up. Yeah, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button, guys, if you're just joining up today. Definitely appreciate you there. SPY is trying for a 696 test, Zachary said. Oh, 676 is what they meant to say. Ondas, it's such an interesting stock. Isn't it, Ryan? He said the wheel stalled today, though. Ondas, Ampex, Lunar, RDW, POET, all up. Did you guys see Kershaw let up a home run in like his first pitch? I thought that was kind of funny. Oh gosh, Japan won 13-0. That's crazy. Yeah, the World Baseball Classic's getting wild. Getting excited for it though. I like it. RCAT and IoT on the move. Are they coming back? A little bit. You said IoT? Oh, Samsara? Whoa! They had a huge rip with earnings last night that I didn't even see. They are bouncing back. Some of these software companies like Adobe have been starting to bounce back too. I've been eyeing some of these up, but not overly confident here. March 12th will be Adobe's earnings. It'll be curious to see how they do. Oracle is another one that has been dipping a lot recently in the software side. They're also starting to recover. Microsoft is another, bouncing around major support at 390 to 400, bouncing up in a pretty solid way. I know a lot of people that have been looking to buy up Microsoft lately. U.S. Customs are unable to comply with tariff refunds, Mason just posted. What the? Did not see that. Uh-oh. You guys remember that? That's the sound of death. Morse code, yeah. I'm in the war. How'd you guys know? Man, that SPY bounce back has been crazy. Now, remember what I talked about earlier? With the SPY, one of the biggest things that I was looking for today is a potential rejection off of 676 as it got close. SPY is getting very close to there again. Let's see that move here, 676. See if we start to see a rejection or not. Someone just bought Nvidia 120 put for 70K total expiring next week. Nvidia 120 put. Oh my gosh. At first I was like, okay, why? But now I see that's probably a short. They're probably shorting it, Ryan. I would almost bank on them shorting that, but who knows? Maybe we'll wake up to some massive gap down coming this next Monday. It's possible, guys. The SPY is starting to turn over in a pretty bad way. I'm going to be honest. This is a pretty rough turnover that we're starting to see. I would not be one bit surprised if we started to see more of a larger turnover take hold. It's kind of like slow and choppy, kind of like we saw here, like in 2015. It's like a slight, like huge chop before a pullback. We'll see, because this lower support, SPY loves this lower support. You never know with these war updates what's going to happen, though, and that's what I'm worried about this weekend. All right, here we go. SPY rejecting a little bit at 676 so far. There's the touch. Apple turnover, Tangy Man said. I know. Every time I say Apple turnover, I actually think of that. Sometimes I used to post up a picture of one after I would say it, but it started getting me too hungry, so I don't do it anymore. Wow, wow, wow. All right, guys. Hey, quick intermission. I'm going to go grab another water really fast. I ran out here again. Slight reaction so far, but be right back. Gonna go grab some water. While I'm out, throw out some of your favorite stocks from today in the chat. When I get back, we'll look through them a little bit, but seeing some good movement today. SWBI, the gun manufacturer. I like these drone stocks, so curious what you guys throw out. Maybe some oil stuff. All right, one sec. All right, I am back. Let's go. Loading up on all my contrarian bets, Tangy Man says. BBAI, GWRS, Soundhound, Poet, SMR, and IMSR. Loading them up. Looking at Big Bear, BBAI. Man, SPY's rejecting perfectly there at 676. That is what we want to see. Iran delays naming new leader out of security concerns. RIO gave me $31 profit per share. Rio. Big Bear's doing pretty good today. Let's see, Rio. Oh, wow. Rio Tinto PLC. This has been a nice run by Rio here this year, Tangi. I don't think I've ever even heard of Rio. Polymarket currently prices the yes outcome is 36.5% for the Iranian regime falling by June 30th, 2026. The yes shares trade at 0.365 and the no's at 0.635. It's a mining company, and it primarily operates in Australia, Tangi says. Okay, okay. No wonder it's been doing so well with the way metals have moved. Metals are on fire. Straight up on fire. You've been in and out of Rio for close to 3 years, Vintage said. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, Tangi just said that they sell its outcasting of uranium for cheap because it's not their main product, and every year when they sell, it bottoms uranium spot put price. Damn. Sounds like they're pretty impactful on it. Let's go back to SPY and look at that 676, which is still holding up. That is a huge rejection now. Now talk about a possible snipe.
All right, all right, all right.
What's this new weird show on HBO called DTF St. Louis? What the heck? I'm out here getting ads for this on CNBC for some reason. Makes like no sense. The big Bloomberg headline of the morning, though. U.S. unexpectedly sheds 92,000 jobs. Yep. That is the big headline here this morning. I know it sounded weird, didn't it, Vintage? Jake said it sounds fun. Sorry about that, guys. That came out of nowhere. Degenerate Merc said, I wish I would have kept my SWBI calls. Yeah, that is a big drop down there, though. That was pretty quick. I like it. I love it. All right. Nvidia pulled back pretty hard off of their channel here, off their trend line, I should say. They actually broke above it ever so slightly, but then immediately pulled back. All right. IoT, yeah, good guy. You're not the first one to actually say that one today. It's doing very well. Did good on earnings last night, but the move from open was nice too. You know, we dropped down a little bit and popped up 11%. Pretty solid for an intraday run. Kind of mimicked like RCAT and some of those others with the good movement. RCAT did pull back now, but at the end of the day, these stocks were on fire here this morning, and you know, they can't go up all day, right? They could, but it's far and few between. Would be interesting for a dip buy at some point. It's just such a massive move. Ooh, SPY, big green. Big green coming back towards 676 now. The up and down chop is playing out down here in this base. It might test 676 again, because that's a pretty quick pop back now. Very quick. Three minutes ago, we saw news hit with customs data. Maybe that's playing a role. Maybe that's helping it move. I'm not seeing anything that really is too crazy. Maybe that news. I have seen things pump a little bit off of some of this tariff refund news, so maybe that's what we're seeing here. All right, 676. Pretty much back in play now again, so watch resistance here. It's about 60 to 70 cents out. Wow, what a weird end of the week, guys. Saudi Arabia's energy export infrastructure remains resilient, and the kingdom is flexible to utilize multiple export routes, including the Red Sea, they said. Deutsche Bank warns that the spike in jet fuel is becoming an existential threat to airlines. I know that they've been getting hit in the short term pretty hard. Yeah, they have. Yes, they have. Very, very hard. All right, guys, one sec. All right. What a day. Mason flies on Monday. Hey, well, good thing you already bought your tickets, right? They're going to be upping those prices here in a minute. Great. Right as I'm traveling for stuff. No, I'm not really doing anything. But you just went long on XPeng. Another speculation on their new self-driving cars being on par with Tesla. XPNG? Or XPEN? Oh, XPEV. XPEV. That's it. I forgot their ticker. I haven't looked at XPeng in a long time. Long time. They're falling off quite a bit into support. Not the best for sure. Unless it snows. According to Goldman, investment in AI and results of it contributed basically zero to the U.S. economy. Did they say like only in this year or something, or what? That sounds pretty crazy though. Brain says nice. It sounds pretty rough, but all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. I hope everybody had a great morning here and a great end of the week. There was some wild price action out here with SPY. I gotta say, some good opportunities all around. Opportunities to the upside off support, opportunities to the downside off resistance. Multiple different ways to go today. But okay, I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.